Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining Underwater Cities. Underwater Cities is a 2 to 4 player game that came out last year, 2018. It's by Vladimir Suchi. If that name is one that you recognize and you can't quite place, he did Shipyard, he did Last Will. You probably most know him for Last Will, which is just here, and Prodigal's Club, which uses that kind of idea. I have done a video for Last Will. I haven't done one for Shipyard. I was just reminded that Shipyard is a game by Vladimir, and I really liked it. And it's a game that I probably should do a Gamesplain of. I'll have to check if it's actually still in print, because it's quite old now. I believe it came out 2009 or somewhere in that ballpark. But today we are talking about Underwater Cities. I find this a super crunchy game. Oh, I really enjoyed it. A lot of people, when I say, oh, I'm doing Underwater Cities, I'm having a play of it to get my head around it, a heck of a lot of people have said, oh, Underwater Cities, that's just like Terraforming Mars. And look, I don't see the exact sameness. Sure, there are some similarities. You have cards, you're playing cards out of your hand. But there are certain things that can be done, and once they're done in a turn, they can't be done again. I don't feel that this is the same game as Terraforming Mars. I'm not sure where that thought has come from. Like, I understand it, but to be honest with you, I have not found that any of my games are the same as any other game. I simply have not come across the game. You're playing it and you go, oh, this is nice, but it feels like X. And I haven't done that ever. And I think that's really good thing. Like, you can see this collection of games behind me. I feel like my collection is probably up around the 300 now. I haven't found any of those games are the same as any other games. Sure, they're similar. There's similar mechanisms going into every one of these games. Each of them has those similarities. And once you start understanding them, you can start understanding gaming, and you kind of get your head around the games quicker. But for every single one of those games, there's always nuance. There's always a totally different thought process. So I'm going to go ahead and say, no, this isn't the same game as Terraforming Mars. It has some feels, but it's definitely not the same game. I did find with this rulebook that it was extraordinarily difficult to get a total grasp on as you're reading through. I find that it'll say something, then at the end it'll say more information on page 12. And then I'll just keep talking, and then more information on this page 8. And following that is really hard. I don't have a solution as to a better way to write the rulebook. I'm positive there is one. That's just a small bugbear I've got with this game, but because videos exist, you can go ahead and watch my Gamesplain to get a feel for how the game works, for how it rolls, how it runs, and actually explaining the game. And once you start playing it, you go, oh, I get it. It's an understandable game within what is happening. This has a few really intriguing elements to it. So you have a hand of 3 cards and 3 cards only. You're going to play one of those cards at the same time as selecting a spot, a thing that you can do. There are 3 different colors on the things that you can do. There are 3 different colors on the cards. If you match the same colored card with the thing you can do, then you get the bonus of that card as well. Now, that might be putting it just next to you so you get that ongoing bonus or whatever. And I'll go through that in the Gamesplanation. Or it might be a play straight away. Or it might be it's marked with an A, meaning you can do it whenever an A selection has taken place. So if I use a card, put it down, I can use another card to play there. That's the A. Oh, I get to use this card now. And you get to use those ones just once per kind of section of the game. There are 3 sections in the game. There's a heck of a lot of stuff going on because you're playing with stuff on the board, stuff on the card, and potentially, depending on what spot you've picked or what cards you're playing, stuff on other cards. There's a lot of thinkiness that goes into it. We took an awfully long time to play the game last night with 4 players, which is the maximum play count. It plays 2 to 4. We played and we were getting kicked out of the club where we were, so we didn't actually end up taking scores. I didn't do the score until this morning for myself, and I know I haven't won because I've got a message from one of the other players, but I was within points of them. I think I was around the high 70s and he was in the low 80s. That's the kind of ballpark that we're going for. We had one other player sitting at the table who had played the game before, and he was like, oh yeah, I don't know if we'll get up to that kind of area. That's kind of where we should be. That's where we got to. It's a thing. I find that there's scoring, there's interim scoring kind of as you're going, and you'll get a point here or a point there for doing this, depending on what cards you play. And that pushes you forward. I think we started actually the scoring around 20 was kind of, we played the whole game and I got 20 points, and then 60 points come in from all these other elements going on, and that's really what you're working towards. So keeping that as the main focus of what you're doing and thinking through all the things that can happen that can push you forwards with this game is actually a really important thing to do. Understanding that scoring before you start is a really important thing to do. There are a heck of a lot of elements and a little minutiae within this game, but once you start playing it, it actually becomes quite relatively straightforward and understandable. So look, I'm going to leave it there. Please go ahead and watch my Gamesplaned Gamesplanation. Get a feel for the game, get a feel for how it plays. I think it's a really wonderful game. I think it's a worthwhile game to follow up on and for you to all have a look into getting, if this falls into the genre of games that you play, because it is a bit heavier than some of the more lightweight stuff that I have done. But it fits right into my wheelhouse, so please go ahead and have a look at it, see if you're going to like it. If you have any games that you would like to be Gamesplaned, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.